Hey, everybody, welcome back to Morning Talk with Mike and Paul. Paul is frozen right now. All you can see is his head, but he's having some internet issues over there in merry old England. So just be patient with him. Hey, I did post the link up at the top. Please join us in the chat for these top news things that we're going to talk about today. Um, it is 71 degrees here in Oklahoma. Overcast, feels great outside. I wish I could find a place in the world or in the United States that's 71 all year round. I would be absolutely happy with that. So Paul will be jumping in and out, jumping in and out. He doesn't know what's going on with his provider, but we will be patient with him because he is over in England and it's a long strip of cable to bring him back over here. So anyway, yeah, blessed are the peacemakers. You're absolutely correct. Drinking. Oh, there he is. I'm gonna have to leave this clicker right there on your picture, so each time you come in, I can click it real quick instead of trying to find the mouse. But yeah, and I hate what StreamYard or YouTube's doing, putting numbers after the names. And I think I told Paul earlier, I said, hey, I think there's just people in Silicon Valley over there. They're just bored and they do something every once in a while to change everything, you know?
They should play cards. Leave it the fuck alone.
Oh, that's good. But anyway, I'm glad everybody's here. We only got 8 people in the chat, and that's fine with me. But we're going to talk about some crazy crap that's been going on over the weekend, guys. It is number one a miracle, the steps that they have taken to calm down all the violence in the Middle East. First and foremost, I believe that what happened on October 7th was horrific with the killing of 1,200 Israelis by Hamas. I don't put the blame for that on the Palestinian people themselves. I do think that as a people, I'm pretty sure they outnumber Hamas, and they were living basically what you would call an apartheid state, where the power of Hamas took over the will of hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of people. If you remember South Africa when they were in apartheid, where the smaller of the racial group, if you will, was controlling the country itself. And that's the same thing that was going on over there. Now, as a people, for, I don't know, thousands of years, the Muslim countries, Islamic countries, never recognized them as a state. And Palestinians served as, in positions in different countries as laborers and all that kind of stuff. But nobody did anything. Then comes along Trump And she, enough is enough. Declared Jerusalem as the capital. Okay. And now he has brokered, with the help of many other countries,
I wouldn't count
Muslim,
us in that.
Islamic. What's that?
I wouldn't count us in that. Keir Starmer's a wanker.
Yeah. Have worked out what could possibly be the peace of a lifetime. Okay. Peace of a lifetime. So Trump is over there in Israel. He is going to Egypt today. And we're going to talk about that because that is huge, guys. That affects the entire world. And something I thought I would never, ever see in my lifetime. But before we get into all that and much, much more, let's say hello to the people in the chat. Let me get up there. There's Charlene Grady. Welcome in. Glad you're here. There's Tamara over at Heartland Headquarters of Dink and Tank.
That's a new one to me.
There is Joe and Jenny's Journey. Hey, welcome in, brother. Glad you're here. Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Hello, my friend. There is our good friend Wendy at Hardneck Farms. She's in the chat. Hey, Tuber Chat's here. Welcome in.
Can you hang on for a second? Tuber Chat, the reason I got my name in here is when I registered for my YouTube channel, I registered with my name. It was that easy. I didn't put a handle in.
Yeah. Glad you're here.
Right, you can carry on now, Mike. Thanks.
Hey, there's Ed Kirkpatrick, the storyteller's in here. Paul Case Farms. And Paul, we wouldn't mind having another Paul up here with his own opinion. So the link is at the top. Paul Case.
Webb's just joined us.
All right. Welcome in, Ralph. Leonard Mountain Homestead.
Hello, Barbara Castile.
And or Chris. Let's see. I want to make sure I get everybody. And I believe
you missed Barbara Castile.
Yeah, I'm going back up the thing. There's Kevin over at Camping Cage Free. And I think, there he is. There is Ed over at Whistle Stop. Good to see you, brother. Terry's out doing the chickens and quail and rabbits and the new baby chicks. Hey, out and about with Sam I Am. Welcome in, brother.
Hi, Sam.
All right, so I got everybody there. Let me go back down to the bottom. Yep, there he is. Webb's Web is right there. And you said Castile's in here, you said?
Barbara Castile.
Barbara Castile, there she is. Glad you're here. All right. So, guys, President Trump is greeted by thunderous applause at Israel's parliament. Okay. President Trump was met with a thunderous applause and a standing ovation as he entered Israel's, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Knesset chamber to address country leaders. Celebration erupted across Israel on Monday as 20 living hostages were freed and returned home. The hostages and missing family forum celebration and return of the living hostages to Israel, and they vowed to fight until deceased hostages were returned for proper burial. Okay, and you know, this is my thoughts. I think as the hostages died because of explosions, because of their hostage takers, whatever the case is, or trying to escape, or whatever the case is, I think that when they died, they probably were just tossed to the side. They may be under rubble. Whatever. And I don't think they're probably, I mean, if you really think about it, and if you looked at what the country Palestine looks like now, finding them would absolutely probably be a fluke, as they bulldoze everything out to rebuild and all that. I don't know. My heart goes out to the families that their loved ones not coming back. It was a travesty. It was something for me personally would be unforgiving. You know what I mean, Paul?
I know exactly what you mean.
It's just what they did on October 7th was just
barbaric.
That is just centuries of hatred towards another group of people, that people here in the States, they throw racism around like it's just, just a simple word, and people don't know what true hatred is until they look at what happened and open up their minds. I get it. There is a lot of innocent people that have been killed in this war that should have never had been killed.
But it's not a race anymore.
Part of the problem is you can't just go over there and say, oh, yeah, that person is Hamas. Oh, that person's not. I mean, that's the hard part about it. They blend in until they're ready to do whatever, like everybody else.
It's the same as Bosnia.
Yeah.
It's Christians against Islam.
Yeah.
It's not race. Race has got sod all to do with it.
Right.
It's religion. Yeah. Religion has been fighting each other's for centuries.
Oh my gosh. Religion has been the center of wars upon wars upon wars. And nobody's innocent. All right.
I beg to differ.
There's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of people that do it under their religion that are not innocent in a lot of people's minds.
That's better.
Okay.
Because I am innocent. I was born innocent. It lasted 3 minutes. It lasted all of 3 minutes.
Yeah. But I mean, you go all the way back to the Crusades. They have been killing for, oh my gosh, for so long. The Romans going into the Middle East because Caesar was quote unquote like their god and whatever the case was, trying to, enslave everybody across Europe. I mean, look what they did with the Huns. Look what they did over in England way, way, way back in the day, forcing people to convert to their way of thinking and living and stuff like that. So, it's been going on for so long. But I never thought in my lifetime I would see this happening. Hey, Debbie Drop. Welcome in. Good to see you. But in the parliament, one of the things Trump did when he got over there, you're a guest in most places, like if you go to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and you're lucky enough to go underneath the big tomb area, I had an opportunity to do that. They have a big guest book that you sign in. And one of the guys, when I worked at the Air Assault School, my commander, we went to DC for a training meeting, and he used to be an operations officer for the old guard. So when we went there, he took me and we went downstairs underneath the big rotunda and everything, where the soldiers get dressed and everything like that. And there's a sign-in book, and I got to sign my name into that guest book, and I was thumbing through it, and I seen Reagan's name. I seen all these people's names that presidents and dignitaries had signed the book. But when Trump went into the parliament and he signed the guest book, besides signing it, he wrote in his, that Trump signature, which takes up like a quarter of the page. He didn't stay within the lines. Okay. He did his signature, and then under his signature or above his signature, he said, "This is my great honor, a great and beautiful day, a new beginning." That he did. He's put it underneath his signature. So fast facts. Here's what's going on, guys. A prisoner exchange between Israel and Hamas began around 8 a.m. Monday morning as Red Cross convoys made their way through Gaza to bring hostages home and release prisoners. They did both. They took prisoners back over to the Palestine area, and they brought back the living hostages. Israel released 2,000. They got 20 people back. They released 20,000 Palestinians, which included 250 terrorists that belonged to Hamas. They gave those guys back in order to make this peace deal work. How long it's going to last, I don't know. I know that I've heard on the news feeds and stuff like that I read this morning that there are skirmishes between Palestinians and Hamas. Okay. So I think the Palestinians are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. And we'll see what happens internally. President Trump arrived in Israel Monday morning, where he made a historic address to the Israeli parliament. And then President Trump will later visit Egypt to participate in the Middle East peace ceremony, which is very significant. Okay. Hey, Jamie, glad you came back in. Glad you came back in. I'm glad y'all do these lives with these updates. Didn't watch news last night or this morning. Okay. Yep. Prayers for the families for sure.
Am I the only one that thinks that if a terrorist is convicted, they should be eliminated? And by that, I mean executed.
I don't think you're alone, that you're alone in thinking that way at all. I don't think you're alone at all. All right.
If they'd executed those 250 terrorists, it would have been 250 less they'd have to worry about in the future.
Well, yeah, and that is a worry. I mean, they were willing. Israel was willing. in order to have peace, to give up those people. Okay. Reagan would have never done that. He said, we do not deal with terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay. And he never did. But since then, if this is what stops people from dying, I think Israel agreeing to releasing the 2,000 people from their jails means to me they really want peace. Knowing that at least 250 of them are going to run right back to the family, just like gang members do here. They get out of prison, they run right back to what they know. Okay.
I mean, those that haven't been in long enough.
Yeah. But I don't know if I mean that would be a hard pill to swallow, is if you're Jewish and you're knowingly letting known terrorists go. That's got to be hard on the heart.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's look at who's coming to Egypt. Global leaders gather for peace ceremony with Trump. Egypt is slated to host several world leaders at the summit at Sharm el-Sheikh resort sitting near the Red Sea on Monday. So, and I haven't seen anything on what happened. An Egyptian presidential spokesman told the news agencies of Israel that meeting will focus on finalizing agreement to end the war in Gaza. Over 20 leaders will be present, including Palestine Authority President Mohammed Abbas, foreign officials from France, Germany, Indonesia, Italy, Jordan, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, and the UK will also be in attendance. Reports say that the U.S. expanded the list to also include attendees from Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Canada, Cyprus, El Salvador. Don't know why El Salvador's there, although they're running the prison, so he wants that president to become a world leader. Greece, Hungary, India, Japan, Kuwait, and Spain. Israel was not invited, according to reports. Now, I don't blame anybody from Israel not showing up. That would be like throwing a cat in a kennel full of dogs, in my mind. You know what I mean? If Netanyahu showed up in Egypt, the temptation would be so great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To off him would be catastrophic. But acting in their stead is President Trump. Okay. So President Trump will be there. He will be one of the signers of that. I don't know what has happened. I don't think Egypt is a neutral enough country for dignitaries to be safe in. So, but that's just mine. Says, I hope Trump doesn't go. Hamas has not shown up, according to somebody's TV. Don't know how to spell it. Okay. So if anybody knows what happened there, we would love to hear or have a link to what happened there. So anyway, so that happened, and it's concluded. And I'm going to tell you something. I really, truly hope that this sticks, because you're talking about centuries and centuries of hate, raising your children to hate before they even go to school. That to me doesn't sound like you're acting in a positive way to God's teaching. You know what I mean? I mean, God is God. No matter what you call him, I don't think violence and acting in the name of God, uh, how do I want to say that? I don't think that you, to have that much hate, you are so far from what God and Christ's teachings are, or any religious leader. I can't believe that, the hatred, that's your premise for hatred, is your religion. So it's sad. It hurts. It hurts my heart to know that people can hate that much. And if you think that we're even close to that in the United States, you are so wrong. In my mind, you are so wrong. We are a fraction, of that kind of hate in the United States. I wish there was none. I wish everybody was colorblind, religious blind. Love who you want to love, pray to whoever you want to pray, live your life, be a good citizen, love your country, hope and want what's best for you and the people around you. So that's my 2 thoughts on that. You're a sweetheart, Paul. I've got to put this up there because this is very raw.
Raw? That's a damn right lie.
When have you ever been a total sweetheart, Paul?
Um,
No, see, you have to think about it. It's all done.
When I was in the church choir.
That right there is probably the truest statement I've seen in a while. And I'll tell you why. When you're born, somebody told me this. I went to an equal opportunity course in Vilseck, Germany. It was like a 3-week course. And the guy that was teaching this he told us a story. When babies are born in a hospital and they're in the nursery, could be, Asian, Caucasian, Black, Hispanic, whatever. All these babies are in there. There's no hatred. There is no racism. There is no anything. Oh, bye, Paul. Anything there in the hospital. Then go into the future. You're in a cemetery and everybody's buried in the cemetery. There's no hatred. There's no racism. There's none of that. Okay? All this hate is a learned trait. Okay? It is learned. And somebody has to teach it. If you're going down or you're out at the park and a 4-year-old tells another kid or calls him the N word. Okay. Somebody had to teach that child at 4 years old, and this was his example, what a black child, what the negative word is for a black child or a black person. Okay. Somebody had to teach that. Okay. And at 4 years old, that is taught in the home. And vice versa. Okay. And vice versa. Hatred is learned. It isn't in your DNA when you're born or in your mindset when you're born. You're just a sponge. And kids pick up on everything or how you talk at home. You get a kid, and all of a sudden he's in first grade and he's cussing like a sailor. Okay. He had to learn that somewhere. And that's where we fail as parents. Okay. Because teaching your children is where it begins or where it could end. All this hatred and racism in the world. So, and it was the truest statement or story I've ever heard, and he was absolutely correct in saying that. And right there, we only learn what we are taught. Okay, so the embarrassment should go onto the parents. Now, when they get into their teen years, and teenagers, you can be the best parent in the world, and 10 minutes with a new friend could ruin all of that. Now, on their base, okay, in their base, they know what's right and wrong because you've taught them that. Okay. But a new friend can ruin a whole lot of a lifetime's worth of work on a teenager. And then we take that into adulthood, and it's ingrained in us. The hatred is ingrained with us. The stupidity is ingrained in us. And that's what we need to work on. We need fathers to stay in the home. We need mothers to stay in the home. Okay? That's what we need. Hey, Oki's eating. Okay. Hey, there's Paul. Welcome back, Paul.
Yeah, I must have gone for a jog around the bloody block the way this internet's playing up. Hi, Okies.
Yep. And now one of the trigger words for people is, I love everybody. I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of Mexican friends, or I have a lot of white friends. I'm not racist. I'm not this or that. I'm not a bigot. I have these other people that are my friends. You shouldn't have to say that. You shouldn't have to say that at all. I got a lot of friends, I give a rat's behind, their race, creed, color, religion. I don't give a crap. I don't.
Tony,
but if you're an ass to me, you're just an ass. Okay? And we'll leave it at that. All right.
The proper way to say it is, I got a lot of people. Go on.
I don't know who Gates is.
Well, he's got to be a member of power, a politician that's in power.
Oh, I know the Gates from Florida. Is that who she's talking about?
Probably. Now, I'm saying the proper way to express that is, I have many friends of different origins and ethnicities.
Bill Gates is a prime example. Oh, they're talking about Bill Gates. I don't know about that. Hey, Daisy, welcome in.
No, Bill Gates, the Zionist weirdo.
And there's our cabin in the woods. There's Tony. Welcome in, Tony.
And there's another
Again,
religion.
at the top, if you want to join us in the discussion, I would love to hear what you got to say. Jamie, I know you got makeup on because you're getting ready to go somewhere.
But she hasn't got a shoulder holder on. Jamie never puts that on until she's about to walk out the door.
Oh, really? She doesn't saddle up until she's just about ready to go out the door?
That's it.
All right. Now I know something about Jamie I didn't know.
I'm not saying she hangs low, but her knees keep warm.
Oh. So, did you hear about this? 6 dead in shooting after Mississippi homecoming game. The small town of Leland, Mississippi was rocked Friday night by a mass shooting at a homecoming event that left 6 people dead. The shooting took place in the downtown Leland area after the local high school homecoming football game. The gathering takes place annually. Families in town visiting to get together and just have family fun, as well as besides that, there was 4 people that were flown to Jackson, Mississippi in critical condition. And of those 4, 2 other died later in the hospital, according to the statement from Washington County, which was the county in which it happened in. Some 20 people were injured in the gunfire after the people gathered in the downtown area. On Saturday, Leland Police Department declined to comment, citing the ongoing investigation. The town mayor said that no suspect was in custody at this time. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is helping out in the investigation of this mass shooting. Now, a mass shooting is what I'm leading from these news agencies is that 4 or more people that are hurt or injured, killed or whatever. I guess the number is 4, and there's like 330 mass shootings that has happened so far. But that's crazy. This is an event that happens every year. Homecoming, everybody comes back, and the downtown area on Main Street and all the, I guess, the burger joints. There's only 4,000 people live in this town, but they all come back, and they're almost, I guess, sound to me, reading a bunch of other stuff, that it's one of those towns where everybody's married. You have a family line in just about every family in that town. It's like Mayberry. Okay. So that, I mean, that was devastating for a small town like that. 20 injured and then 6 died. That shouldn't happen. Okay. That's something you'd hear, hey, drive-by shooting in Chicago. Oh, that's normal. You know what I mean? That's just normal talk. But in some small podunk town of 4,000 people. Yeah, I mean, the true, that's true. Shooters, I'm thinking, I don't have the mind of a person that would do something like that, but it always seems like they try to find the most innocent situation to inflict as much casualties or or pain and suffering as they can.
It's
And
called collateral damage.
and you gotta, I mean, in your brain, you gotta think to even fathom doing something like this, there is something seriously mentally wrong with the person. Okay. It's not, this is Big Mike talking now. It's not the gun itself. It's the person handling it in every single case, because they just don't sprout legs and walk around and start shooting.
Yet.
Okay. Pew pews, guns, however you want to say it, they don't do that. Okay. So until they fix these, to me, lock them away. We got rid of all these mental institutions. Ooh, the constitutionality of locking somebody up because they're batshit crazy. Okay. They need to bring that stuff back. Okay. People like that should not. Now, the subway guy, who's been arrested 100 freaking times, why he's not in a mental institution and sent there by a court, I don't know. Okay. They need to bring those back. Yeah, mental kills.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, hey, there's Newman's. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Sorry, you came in a while back and I didn't acknowledge you. They need to bring back mental institutions and lock these people up and give them the treatment that they need. And some of them can't be fixed. Sometimes you can't fix broken. And you can't just allow them to be out on the road, out in public to harm innocent people.
I've got a different approach.
Again, my statement before about being too free.
I'm sorry, but I have a different approach when it comes to people like that.
What's that?
If that was an animal with a mental condition, it'd be put down. Why don't they do the same with the human?
There's a lot of people that think that way. Okay. But there's a lot more people that don't think that way. There's a lot of people that says killing a fetus is not killing somebody, but somebody so mentally deranged, let's say John Wayne Gacy, should have killed him right after the court sentencing.
Yeah.
All these serial killers should have done it right afterwards. Okay. We've got DNA now. We've got DNA, and stop nitpicking how the court case was ran so we can go back to court again. And 20 years later, I finally exhausted everything. And the taxpayer paid for me to stay alive all this freaking time. So there are people that say killing a child in the womb is not murder. There's some people that say it is. There's some people that says, hey, you should eliminate crazy when it can't be cured. Okay. But don't take the word of psychologists. That's how they make their money. Okay. Yeah. And on and on and on. So again, you can be too free of a society and you allow all this stuff to go on. And that is, to me, is absolutely wrong.
Yeah. I am not talking about the woman that wants to abort. I am not talking about the mother that was raped who wants to get rid of the child. I'm talking about the nutcases that willingly go out, hurt people, and don't give a shit.
Right.
That sort of mental needs to be put down.
Yeah. 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 We need to fix our judicial system. Absolutely. Hey, and then on the other side, there is justice, I guess. The school teacher in North Carolina that raped his son's girlfriend, and then he was sentenced to 18 years in prison, lost his life the other day to a guy who was in prison for murder. The guy found out what this guy did to the girl, and he killed him before the guy was getting ready to be go in front of a parole board or whatever the hell it was. Another murderer killed the rapist that was in prison. So
that's justice.
Well, and then they have the bear in Arkansas that mauled somebody to death. They put the bear down for doing bear things.
Yeah, the bear was just doing bear things in Arkansas. Okay.
That was wrong. That bear should be sedated and replaced.
Sure. But once, I mean, like there's an old saying, once a bear tastes human flesh, he can't get it out of his mouth, you know?
That works for lions, but I believe bears are different.
Bears eat meat.
Oh, yeah. Bears be like us.
Yeah.
They're omnivores. They'll eat any shit.
He was just doing bear things. Okay. And then they found, what was it, 160-pound mountain lion was found roadkill in Arkansas also. Yeah. But there's no mountain lions there. They always said that in Missouri until they all of a sudden they found them. And I seen one because you can smell them before you see them, especially if you're downwind. Yeah, there are feral humans also. And those are the wackadoodles. Yeah, hit on the road a big male, yeah. So
I've been told
what happened in Mississippi, guys. So let's take a ride over to Hollywood, California.
Oh no, I'm not going anywhere near that place.
Police arrest suspect wanted in shooting of driver after car plows into crowd at East Hollywood nightclub. The police have arrested a man suspected of shooting a driver. I don't think it's suspected when you got the dude on videotape because there's cameras outside the club. You are some kind of freaking stupid. All right. The guy was pulled out of a car, beaten by the bystanders that weren't injured because what this dude did, he got kicked out of a club for being stupid in a no stupid zone. So they kicked him out of the club. 2:00 in the morning. So people are coming out. They want to get fresh air or whatever. This guy goes and gets into his little, what kind of car? It was a little, anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, Nissan Versa. It's a real small compact car. So he gets in, this big dude, his name is Ramirez, got pissed off because he got kicked out of the club for being dumb. Gets in his Nissan Versa, does a U-turn in the road, comes up on the sidewalk, and like a bowling ball on a bowling lane, just runs over all these people, and then he gets stuck and hits something or whatever. Oh, he hit a taco stand thing that was out there for all the drunk and high people so they can come out and get some munchies, right? Hits that guy. The people that were out there got his door open, pulled him out and started beating the crap out of this guy that ran over all these people because that's the priority. Instead of helping the people that got hit, you turn your focus on the dude and you beat his ass, right? So another guy named Efron Villalobos 28, was taken into custody Sunday at about 1:15 in Redondo Beach, says the LAPD. So what our friend Villalobos did to Ramirez, he came, apparently they said he was in the club. He was in the club. Hey, Wendy.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, he was in the club. He went outside. Apparently, he went over to his car or whatever. They got him on videotape coming across the road while they're beating the holy crap out of this dude for running over 30 people, and shoots the dude. Oh, by the way, right there out front of the club at every angle is a freaking video camera. Okay? So he shoots the dude, then like the coward he was, he ran across the street, got in his car, and he left. So facial recognition, I think, is a great thing. Every time you go into a federal building, every time you go into an airport, if you go get your driver's license, everything should be in that database. Boom. They said, hey, this dude is over in Redondo Beach. Let's go get him. They apprehended him. All right. The dude he shot, and he shot the dude in the back. Okay. The driver lived. So here's what the news agencies say. Oh, man in a fit of rage, flipped a U-turn, ran over 30 people, and then the crowd ripped him out of the car, started beating him, and our guy Villalobos came over and just shot him in the back. Well, that drunken fool that did hit all those people lived. Okay. But at the end, they said, we're waiting. The police said, oh, we're waiting for the toxology report. And if the dude was drunk, we're going to charge him with DUI. I think that's the least of his worry, is that you're going to charge him with DUI. Okay. But yeah, they're going to do it to stack the charges so they can get more time and all that. But again, he can say, I was so drunk, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I was so drunk, you shot me in the back, and I still lived, because God loves idiots and drunks, because he made so many of them. I don't know. But that's what happens. Okay. This is affected. People are I don't know why. Is there more crazy people now than there were in the past?
Oh,
because
yeah.
I know if Wendy was back in, I don't know, the 1920s, and she was, let's say she was going through whatever, menopause or whatever that women go through, or women who have children, they have this thing, what is it called?
Postpartum
depression. They threw y'all asses in a crazy house. Quick, fast, and in. I mean, the crazy houses were filled full of women like that. Okay. And maybe that's the basis for all psychology and things that we know about today, but that's what they did to them. It took us how many years to allow a woman to vote, because they said, hey, women are crazy. We can't let them vote. We can't let them make a freaking decision. Okay. They're not smart enough. The man is the one who dictates what goes on. Okay. Look how many years it took us to get the vote for women from back in those days.
That was our biggest mistake.
What?
Is not letting them vote.
Paul.
No, letting them vote.
Paul wonders why he can't get a freaking date.
There you have it, Paul.
Paul, there are so many people that love you, Paul, and you're not putting up a very good fight. You know what I mean?
Right?
You know what it is, Mike? I was waiting for Wendy to bite on that, and you jumped in. Because she was ready. I could see the hook getting on her lip.
Right?
Remember, sometimes we have to say it in our brain before we say it with our lips.
No. I found life more exciting when you say it out loud.
Because you got to say like this: do I really want to fight that fight right now at 8:30 or 9:30 in the morning?
Right. Don't poke the
Yeah.
bear, Paul.
Oh,
It's
I
in the
don't
middle of the afternoon for Paul. Paul's
I
ready
don't-
to fight. He's 8 hours ahead of me.
with one finger. I go with two.
You're a mess.
It wouldn't be morning talk without Paul.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned how the crazy people have rights. You know, they. So, for instance, I had an issue, and it's sad, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but my argument was, well, what's my daughter's rights? So, my daughter, after my divorce, I moved to Moore, Oklahoma, so that my daughter could go to that school where they had a lot of deaf kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had more stuff available for deaf kids where they could be in their classroom with their peers, but just have assisted technology, interpreter, things like that. There was a boy in there that was very aggressive, very mean, had hurt my little girl several times. Now, my daughter is only 4'11. She's tiny.
Right.
This is way back when. She was super tiny as a kid, too. So, anyway, I had complained that this kid is hurting my child. And they said, well, he has the right to be here. I said, but he's super aggressive. Yes, we know that, but he has the right to be here. I said, well, where are my daughter's rights for protection? Because he has hurt her so bad.
Right.
Many times. And the sad thing is it was a boy that was in I guess it was the May 3rd tornado, and he had head trauma, and which made him extremely aggressive.
Right.
And it's sad, but in all fairness, why does he have the right to hurt all the other kids when there should be something in play to where he has his rights, but then our kids are safe as well?
Well, here's my thought about that. And I have found out that schools don't do jack. Okay.
Especially in Oklahoma.
They don't do nothing until they're taken to court, because they have a responsibility for the health, safety, and welfare of every child in that school. And when you bring that up to their attention and nothing's being done about it, sometimes the only action is legal action for them to get off their ass and do something to solve that issue. Now, every child has a right to an education. Every child has a right to be safe. Okay. And when that's not being done, we've seen this time and time again where parents are suing school boards. And I'd rather carry 12 people making a decision, okay, than some judge. Because a lot of times they try to get it where it's only a jury by judge, okay? And requesting a jury trial will get, and then your lawyer and their lawyer. And yes, and a lot of people don't do this because it costs money to hire a lawyer. I get that. But if a lawyer picks up your case and they say, hey, we've got a solid case. We have proof that this kid, you took your kid to a doctor, you documented if there was any physical injuries. I'm sure in a school like that, they have videotape. Okay. I know in the Colorado school system, every classroom had a videotape. Okay. They especially in the first and second grade, because they did two things. They had a thing where they would pinpoint children with attention deficit disorder, because you got to remember something. Kids and I don't understand where they say it's automatically ADD. You're taking a kid that has played and had fun and didn't wear shoes and all the, now they're in first grade. Okay. Because a lot of people don't go, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, first grade. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. Some parents say, I ain't got time for that. First grade, I went to first grade back in the 60s. First day of school was first grade. There was no kindergarten and all that other stuff, right? But it's until you as parents take people like that into court, and it's a shame that it takes that. They should say, man, we've got a situation here. We don't need to go to court. Schools don't have shareholders and stockholders. You know what I mean? So, and to protect the school, if you're a superintendent, if you're a principal, to protect your school, we go, oh, we got an issue here. This parent is not. And sometimes it just takes a letter from a lawyer to them. This is going on. You have done nothing about it. This is your first notice that legal action is going to be pending on your school. That's what it really takes. Because I've learned, especially nowadays, school boards don't listen to nobody.
No, they don't.
It's parents empowered. It's people getting on school boards to make the first step into a political life. You see what I'm saying? Everybody chooses a school board. And you've seen it time and time again on video after video. School boards, they are so freaking woke that they don't look at it. They don't look at the fact that, oh yeah, all kids can use any bathroom they want. Really?
Right.
Okay. I'm glad I live in Oklahoma because that shit doesn't fly here in Oklahoma. You keep your penis in your bathroom and you keep your parts over in that bathroom. There ain't no spit and swap here. Not in Oklahoma. Okay. Because we don't play that crap here. I mean, look what happened to Oklahoma when the governor, one of the only things I think he did right was sign that bill, no boys and girls sports in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah,
the
only thing he did right.
So what did the NCAA do? All these colleges are going, well, we're not coming there. We're not gonna swim in your state. We're not gonna play basketball. But guess what? They did anyway because they'd lose millions of dollars. You know how much money teams get to play each other? How much of a cut they get to come to OU and play football there or basketball or OSU? They make millions and millions of dollars. And I think as far as the NCAA, they didn't want to say it. They didn't want to lose the money.
Could I jump in here?
Because look where the SEC lands. SEC is all southern states, and they don't play that crap.
First off, Wendy, I'm sorry for your daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter had a similar problem with one of her teachers. He was a male PT teacher that insisted on going into the females' changing rooms before and after. Oh, yeah. Well, my daughter got upset and told me once, and I said, well, next time you have him for your swimming, you go straight to the school nurse, tell her you need to phone your dad. It's a medical emergency. So the following week, she did. I went down there. I walked straight into the school swimming baths, grabbed that dirty bastard by the throat, took him straight into the headmaster's office and says, if this pervert is allowed to continue to watch the females change, I'm going to kill him. Because there's no perverts should be allowed in schools. And he just looked at me, he says, you've just threatened him. I says, no, I don't threaten. I promise. If he's in the changing rooms next week, I will come here and I'll drown the dirty bastard.
Right.
The following week, I got called down to the school board. Says, you can't threaten teachers. I don't threaten. I guarantee it.
Paul,
Teacher, what?
Paul, we found the active word that wakes Jamie up.
Penis.
Oh my
Doesn't
gosh.
it wake?
a hoot.
Doesn't it wake most of the women up?
I'm going to leave that comment alone.
Yeah.
I'm going to plead my Fifth Amendment right and just keep quiet on that deal.
Jamie
But
now has high blood pressure.
That's how most women wake up in the morning. Morning wood.
I apologize, Wendy.
no, it's funny.
Guys,
No,
here's the
I'm being
truth.
funny.
Please read the description of every live me and Paul's on. Okay? There is a warning in there.
Funny.
There is a warning that says this is adult conversation.
Right.
Maybe
Paul
that's
doesn't
why
give a
we
shit.
can't get anybody up on the panel, because they're afraid of what might be said.
I don't care. I'm just being funny about it. Like I
Hey,
couldn't
Jolly
laugh when I
Huggers,
saw her
welcome
comment.
in.
Wendy, it's only men in fun. But I'm telling you, that teacher got taken out of the school he was teaching at and sent to an all-girls private school.
Oh gosh.
3 months later, he was in prison
Good.
because that all-girls primary school didn't agree with it either.
Wow, that's just crazy that, and it seems they target the kids. They go
Yeah.
for jobs in the schools,
Yeah.
and
I mean, the best place to be a predator is a teacher.
None of it's my kids.
for a coach.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're a predator, what better career choice to make is that, you know? But it's like that high school teacher that in North Carolina that raped his son's girlfriend is now dead because a killer within the prison that was sent there for being a killer found out that he was a sexual predator of a child
Mm.
and killed him. That's why he killed him.
Which surprises me because they're supposed to keep those kind of people secluded because no matter what, all prisoners have a mother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle, or children themselves, and they don't tolerate that stuff. They normally isolate those type of predators.
Well, here's what I think. I think
Prison.
that this guy's been in prison for a little bit. I think that knowing some prison guards in my life, messages are sent out to inform prisoners of certain things. Like, hey, he was a cop. That could be an almost death sentence to you in prison.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's a child predator, a sexual predator of children. That will get you killed in prison, because whether you want to believe it or not, there is a code amongst thieves. And there are certain things that bad people can't stand.
Yeah.
And two of them are child predators and cops.
Yep.
Because everybody's innocent in prison. You know that.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's
only
like
40% are actually innocent.
Yeah, they'll get to him. They'll get to him. I mean,
I want to go back to
I'll
the
give you a prime example. I'll give you a prime example. And I've talked about this before. We were on Tish Ross's No Judgment Here with Tish Ross podcast. Terry and I was. We lost our son to a drug overdose, and he was in prison outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And I always said, because my son was a drug addict, oh, at least he's in prison and I know where he's at. Okay. However, when my son died, we flew back from Korea to be with him before they told me he was brain dead. It was just all the CAT scans of his brain. It was just black. And I had to make that heart-wrenching decision to turn off the machines. While my son was handcuffed at the legs and hands in a hospital bed at a civilian hospital with a prison guard sitting in a chair right next to him, like he was going to get up and run. But that's the policy. And I understand the policy. It's very humiliating, but that's the policy. But he died of a methamphetamine and fentanyl overdose in prison.
Dang.
So he wasn't safe there. I know there's violence in prisons, but he had a way of talking to people and convincing people. And I said, well, he'll do fine. At least I know where he's at and he's not using drugs. Not the case. We were approached by a news reporter that said they wanted to talk to me. And I was in no position to talk to any freaking reporter. My son Kevin did. And she said, this is the 21st drug overdose in this prison
Oh my gosh.
in the last 12 months.
Oh,
That's
wow.
terrible, man.
So there is a problem in prison. Yes, somebody that's a killer can get to you if they want him to. Drugs can get into a prison only a couple of ways. Somebody coming in and talking to somebody and somehow they get it in, or prison guards knowingly know how it's coming in and they're getting a cut of it because they don't make the biggest salary in the world.
Right.
All right. When I went in there to get his personal belongings, I had to walk into the prison where my son died. Okay. And nobody gave me more than a half of a sentence, and they just gave me the box and moved on. They didn't want to talk about it. They know what's going on. And I had so much hate because I was from law enforcement, knowing that this is going on in a prison. And it didn't get personal until my drug addict son killed himself with the help of others in prison. So, yeah, they can get to you. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay. So I think it was targeted. I think they chose a guy that was never going to get out of prison anyway. Okay. To do the dirty deed, if you will. So, and you can protect them and protect them and protect them. And once they go down a dark path, it's hard. It is really hard.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's all parents' fault, especially when they get in their teen years. Like I said, 10 minutes with a new friend could unravel a lifetime of the work of a parent.
That's what happened to my stepson.
Yeah.
He's the one that just died recently. He started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And
Yeah.
out of that crowd of guys, there's only 2 still alive. That they all just done themselves in with the drugs. And my stepson is actually cleaning himself up. He was going to church. There, when they found him, there were no drugs, no alcohol, nothing in his apartment or his car. But he had gotten arrested because he had a fight with his girlfriend. She called the cops on him. They didn't like him because of the history.
Yeah.
Called him to jail. And then
You live in a small town?
well, I do, but he was in Arkansas. And so, and with all this scams and stuff, I got a phone call from the jail, from the sheriff's department on August 2nd. Well, I thought it was a prank. So I said, didn't give any information. I said, I'm not giving that information over the phone. Didn't know they were trying to get a hold of me for my stepson. And anyway, he left there, went back. They released him that same day. He went back to his apartment. He was pretty upset, and I guess he huffed an aerosol can, and it just took his life out. Like he was still coming off the withdrawals,
Mm,
and that's what happened to him.
yeah.
And he laid there dead for, I think, 5 days before somebody found him,
Yeah.
which is sad.
Yeah. So Rainy Ridge, welcome in. Have had inmates tell me that there's more drugs in the yard at prison than in the whole country. I can
I believe it.
honestly, I believe that. I believe it. If it can be had, they can get it in prison. You know.
So sad.
Yeah.
There's another lady here in Guthrie that lost her daughter to a fentanyl overdose. And she's had a hard time dealing with it. I've been trying to get her a support group, but because she posts on Facebook a lot about her grief and how do you overcome this? How do you endure this?
Yeah.
Sad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think if you're a Christian, you should be proud. You should be loud, and proclaim your faith. One of the things that I heard on one of the news things was, if you're a Christian, how could you support a democratic agenda?
That's what my mom always asks. How can you be a part to this party?
If you support everything that they're supporting and you're a Christian, how can you call yourself a Christian and believe in that? I was shocked. I was shocked as a Catholic that the Catholic Church never made a stand on Pelosi, who's a Catholic, Joe Biden, who's a Catholic, in the supporting of abortion and stuff like that. Because the church has a firm stance on abortion.
Right?
Okay? As their base of Christianity and the Catholic faith. So I'm shocked that no Pope ever said anything. Okay? Because I believe that the Pope is God's, for us, a God's leader on earth. Okay? But if you look past all that, and you look how popes were elected all throughout history, you'd go, all you got to do is watch the Borgias. Okay, if you ever watch the Borgias and see how they elect and all the cunning, sly, ruthless ways they got people to vote for them so they could become pope, and all the kids that these cardinals had over the centuries when you're not supposed to. I mean, I get it. I get why Martin Luther left the Catholic Church and started the Lutheran Church up in Germany area, right? Which is now called Dresden, Germany. I've been there. And why there's so many branches of the Catholic Church. You know, how Protestants broke off from the Lutherans, and it goes on and on and on. And because what I believe is that people join churches that fit the way they think. Okay? I want to be religious. I want to be a priest, and I want to get married. So one of the things in the Lutheran Church is you can get married. The Protestant, every religion, you can be a married priest, except for the Catholic Church. Okay, that's why some people moved away from that.
But they're too busy having affairs with the boys.
Well, and then there's also, well, we believe in the rights of gays, lesbians, blah, blah, blah. Even though the Bible says you shouldn't, it says in this one scripture, you shouldn't be that way, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to change our religious belief to accept that and say, yeah, we know, but, and things like that.
The Catholic priest cannot be married because he's having too many affairs with the church choir.
It could be that way. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Okay. But it stands to fact that if one thing happens, and we've seen this, we don't hear about white on white crime. We don't hear about black on black crime, brown on brown crime, Asian on Asian, on and on. You don't hear about that crap, right? But let a white dude kill a black dude, okay? And it's headline news. It's racially dividing the country, on and on and on. But you don't see it vice versa. How many times have you heard in headlines that a black person shot and killed a white person? It doesn't make news. Why? Because when somebody white kills somebody black, they know, the news agencies know, that they can rile up the black base to no end, and the racial divide continues. Okay? And like a wise man said, how do you combat racism? Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman said that.
Yeah. Don't talk about it. Simple as that. Don't talk about it. Ban it from headline news. You did that with cigarettes. You did that with alcohol. The fact is, they still have alcohol commercials, but you'll never see somebody actually drinking alcohol on a commercial. They all stand there all glamorous and stuff like that, but nobody drinks because it's against the law.
Right. I've got a bone to pick.
In the United States. I don't know what they do over in England.
I've got a bone to pick. And it goes back to these teachers. All these teachers who were molesting these kids. What happened to the good-looking females when I was in school?
Oh, they were there.
I know they were there. I never got molested. And you sure as hell wouldn't have heard me screaming about it.
Paul, if you're willing, you can't be molested. You call a participant.
Oh.
That's why they gave that power to your parents when you're underage.
Oh my gosh. You're funny.
That's all I ever tried to be, Wendy.
You are. You're funny.
If I can make one person laugh every day, it's a good day.
Yep. Yep. Turning Point USA chapters are Oklahoma. They are flooding the schools here. And I agree.
About time.
It's about time we brought prayer back into the schools.
Yes.
Praise.
It's about time we put the Pledge of Allegiance back into the schools.
Yes.
It's about time that
LGBTQ got told to piss off.
Well,
I just
we don't
I
want
just
to know
can't
what
understand.
They're doing. That's
I mean,
the
wasn't there talk about the NFL having an LGBT day where people wear the colors of the LGBT whatever? I did notice in the WNBA, the Phoenix Mercury, they made their jackets so that around the wrist and around the waistband are LGBT colors around both of them.
Yeah.
I did notice that. But I mean, honestly, there is a huge gay and lesbian large number of women in the WNBA that are gay and lesbian. There is. It's a fact. Nobody's hiding it. I mean, you know, I just watched an interview from what's her name, Alicia Gray or whatever her name is, for Las Vegas, and she had her son with her, and she said, "Yeah, it's the first time, you know, since me and my wife we're married, we have a son now, and blah blah blah." I mean, it's open, and that's fine. I'm all for it. You know, do what you want to do, love who you want to love.
Just don't force it down my
The
throat.
turning point to the conversation here is that's God's job to judge you. Nobody on earth. So just get over it, guys. Let it be. Let it be. You know, be a proud Christian. Do whatever you want to do. Let God sit up there on high and say, you know what? What you did was wrong. Or if you go up there and it says, hey, you loved who you wanted to love, and that's fine too. I don't know what God's going to say. I can't speak for the man, nor can anybody on the face of the earth.
God should be Zeus.
Okay.
God should be Zeus, and he should strike them all with his thunderbolt right up their asses.
Well, guess what? California's still here, and that's the biggest Sodom and Gomorrah I've ever seen.
Right.
So
You mean
maybe it's not as Sodom and Gomorrah as you think it is.
California?
Because if you remember, Sodom and Gomorrah, it wasn't just boy and girls and boys and boys and girls and girls. It was bestiality, all kinds of shit going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
So last but not least, President Trump. President Trump says he may send Tomahawk missiles to the Ukraine. Guys, this is huge. You're talking about Tomahawk missiles, land-based Tomahawk missiles that have a reach of 2,500 miles, which means St. Peter's, Moscow is in prime target range of a Tomahawk missile from the Ukraine.
Just so long as he's not planning to use the UK bases.
No, they're going to be fired. Trump says, I may send them. He did. We're not sending them yet. So everybody, you know, don't get up in an uproar. He said, I may send them. Putin needs to get his shit together, basically. That's what he's saying. Okay? And it sounds like a political threat. But if you remember Alaska 2025, where Putin agreed to this and this and this, well, he was just being a yes man at the time and then went back and bombarded the crap out of Kiev right after they talked. He sent, what was it, like 250 drones a night into Kiev to bomb them. Then he bombed that U.S.-owned company up by the Polish border. Okay. So how good was Alaska 2025? You can't believe a word that comes out of Putin's mouth. That's my jest of the whole thing. You can't not believe it. Okay. So Trump did talk to Zelensky. Zelensky said, you know, we could use Tomahawks for counterattacks and stuff like that. No first time use, but hey, if he bombs me, then I send a Tomahawk and blow the crap out of the Kremlin or whatever they want. Because you got to remember something. A Tomahawk uses GPS coordinate. So all of a sudden you put a 10 to 12 digit grid coordinate in the warhead of a Tomahawk and it locks into the satellites it can go through a bathroom window if that's where the GPS coordinate sends it. It's not like it's going to take out stuff, okay? A meter by a meter square at 12-digit grid coordinate, it's going straight through your bathroom window because Putin takes a crap every morning at 8 p.m. I don't know.
Why?
So that's the big talk right now. People are getting nervous because of that, because then the Russians have to come back. Oh, you're escalating it, blah, blah, blah. But if people aren't alive, you can't escalate nothing, right? I know the Russian people are sick and tired of this war. They're sick and tired of sending hundreds and thousands of their boys to the front line just to get killed, and their leader don't give a crap about them. Now the Russians are victory because there's better health care over on the Ukrainian side, and they get a hot meal. So, yeah.
Them Ruskies just need to go to the front, drop the weapons, put up a white flag, and walk across.
Yeah.
I tried to be better than who I was yesterday, and anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, where was that?
Yeah, more and more is coming to pass.
It's the Great Awakening.
Oh, Alfonso, I'm sorry about that.
What? I'll be getting a hold of the Disability Law Center.
I don't know if that's true. I'm hoping it's not true.
Well, he's talking from his personal experience.
Yeah.
Oh, it goes on. It still goes on, Mike, because, my youngest daughter lost her hearing from medicine, and she gets discriminated against all the time.
Anytime I have
a new halftime show for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Turning point instead of that queer.
Yay.
Turning Point USA is the new halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's great.
They still have Bad Bunny.
Oh, they still have Bad Bunny playing too.
No, Bunny's out.
Oh, Turning Point's broadcasting their own. Okay.
Yay.
Well, according to Tamara, Bunny's out.
So the NFL is still having that Bad Bunny on the ground. Hey, don't say something, Terry, and then ignore me.
Why not? You do it to her regular enough.
If I don't get it cleared by my my publicist, she'll scold me.
Excuse me. Selective hearing. You've been proven. You've got hearing aids. Use them.
I got them.
Yeah. So you've got no excuse for ignoring your wife.
That's how bad my hearing is, because I still can't hear correctly with hearing aids in, and the VA won't up my. I guess you got to be deaf to actually get anything higher than 10%.
Well, it sounds like I'm not the only one who can hear it.
Well, sometimes, Paul, I hear what you're saying, but I don't acknowledge it because I'm hoping it'll go away.
You're still a wanker, Mike. Isn't that right, Terry?
Well, I will tell you that I think that they have their own power to acknowledge your sin to help you, put you on the right path for forgiveness. I don't think that they have the power to say, "Up, it's all gone," because again, we'll find out on Judgment Day, right? And who knows? We may be living in hell right now. Nobody knows. Okay? Maybe we were in another life and he said, "Well, you really didn't, but I'm going to give you all a second chance," and they put us here. I don't know. You don't know. And until the veil is lifted, that's the only time you're going to know. Charlie Kirk knows. Okay? Until God lifts that veil, when your spirit goes back to heaven to be with our Father, you don't know nothing, because, you know, the only thing I can honestly say you can believe in, if it's written in red, you can believe it. Okay? And that's all I can tell you. I can't tell you more than that because I don't know nothing. You can have 2 PhDs in religious philosophy or whatever the heck it is. You don't know.
We all know where the good
You're
ideas
just
in your
making a wild guess on what you think God is thinking. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't like you to think for him. You know what I mean?
We all know where the good ideas in your
He
household come from.
wants you to believe. And if it's written in red, you can believe it. All right? So, guys, 10:07. I'm glad you guys came in. Guys, I don't know when the bad news is going to end. I am still praying for peace in the Middle East. I hope it works. I hope it lasts. I hope finally, the innocent Palestinians, and there are a lot of innocent Palestinians, don't get Hamas mixed up, that everybody is like that. I hope that minds are changed in the Middle East. I hope the hatred will stop. I pray for that. I think the world should pray for that, for hatred to end. But again, it starts with, I got a brand new baby and I'm going to teach it right, and I'm going to teach it not to hate, because hatred is a learned trait, and it's on parents. It's on you. Okay? It is on you. If you want hatred to leave, get involved. Put a father in the house. Put a mother in the house. Let a child know what true love is all about. And whatever your religion, raise them. Let them choose the religion that's right for them. All right? A lot of people say, hey, you know, you brainwash your child, your whole family's Catholic, blah, 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 blah. Don't judge. Be a good person, right? God, family, country. If you remember those 3 things right there, you're going to do good. And if you believe that, hey, move to Oklahoma. We'll take you. Okay?
Patrick, I didn't even get it signed today.
Hey, Mike.
You what?
Patrick says, will somebody tell Paul I'm getting a glare off that head? Yeah, I didn't shine it today either.
All right. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming in. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you even have a better week. I'm leaving on Thursday or something like that to go to the guys' fishing trip up in North Arkansas around Mammoth Springs. A bunch of people are coming. They're bringing their boys with them this year. It's not just adults. They're bringing their boys. And we'll try to be good examples. It doesn't happen all the time, but we'll try to be a good example for those young boys coming to it. But can't wait to be there. We do go live tomorrow, Sergeant's Talk TV. We're going to be breaking down the Secretary of War's speech to the senior leaders that he had about a week or so ago. We're going to break that down, rip it apart, talk about that. So please join us. And then on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, Wendy is live at Hardneck Farm. So please join her at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for her live. And then at 8 o'clock, right after hers, is MT Homestead, hanging at the Homestead. Hope you'll join us for that. Guys, we love you. God bless you. And remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need. And always, always think of that. Love you guys. And until Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, have a great day. Love you guys.
Bye.
But you're going to be fishing, sir. You're going to be doing a live.
I don't know if I'll be live. The signal's not that great. I'm going to film some stuff, but I don't know. I guess they do have connectivity. If Jeff from Bobblehead shows up, he always brings his internet with him.
No.
He's not
You're
going?
No, I'm saying you're going fishing. Friday's cancelled.
Friday, yes, I'm sorry. Friday is canceled. Yes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to be in the net on Friday.
So
Paul, you get a day off.
I might have a lie-in. But then again, it is 2:30 over here when you decide to do these.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You got your nap in. You're good to go.
Nah, I don't nap in the afternoon.
Old men need naps.
I go through my videos for the channels I watch.
Oh, okay. All right, brother.
Newman's right about that. I don't ever get a day off.
And I don't know if we may not have one on Monday either because I'm driving home on Monday.
That's perfect.
Terry said she might want to do one on Friday.
If Terry wants to do one on Friday, I will definitely come on here.
Okay. Do you hear that? Paul said if Terry wants to do a live on Friday, he goes, you bet I'll be up on here on that.
And I'll tell you what, I'll even behave.
Ooh. What does that look like?
Yeah, Terry said, what does that look like?
I heard that.
Oh, wait, I haven't even clicked us out of the stream when we're sitting here talking about, I'm sorry, guys. Were you not entertained? All right, let me click this off. I forgot. I thought I hit the in live stream.